Alright, we're back on the cow farm. Episode 3. Map creator is ABT-FrankyY. FrankyY. And we are still, as you saw, he started plowing his field in the previous episode. We've been thinking about a couple things in between these episodes here. And we're gonna go to our next little project. Meanwhile, I bought myself a tree devourer. We're gonna make some money here real quick. No, they're not that thick. Don't do that. That would be a good idea in real life. We already got 1,000,000 in wood chips. Oh no, 160,000 in wood chips. This is in between the two pastures. Well, we got both of them. Some you can muscle through and some you can't. We're at 25% already on the triple trailer here. That's the barrier. We got 372 meters right down through this strip here. Alright, what we're going to do, we're going to sell this. But before we do, I want to see something. Alright, we're going to go to prices. Mind you, we're, okay, it said barley is in August. Wheat is in August, and the bulk fuel is $2,425. So what we're going to do, we're going to sell that wheat that we had harvested back in episode 1, or finished doing. With chips. Oh, this is the month for that too. $2,444 per 1,000 liters. All right, we should get a reasonable price for this. Got 372,327 liters of wood chips. Let's see what it brings us. We're making some money. We made $1,183,007 with a bonus of $79,789. That is a good payday. And that's just for the month of August. And these, I said we was going to sell the wheat that we harvested. We're going to sell that also. We got to get it out of the silo first. Alright, We're gonna keep the remainder. We still got roughly about we got roughly about 195,000 of wheat still in the silo. We're gonna keep that. We're gonna sell this much of the wheat. Alright, we got 3 million. We made 1.5 million there with a bonus score of 107,000. Our money is at 3,758,323 in the bank account. Alright, let's take a look at something. Let's see what the price of this field is. Field 2. The value is $2,299,950. I am going to purchase this field for one simple reason. It'll still leave me $1 million in the bank. I chose not to do silage wrap. So we're going to buy this field and we're going to harvest the grass ourselves. Means we got a big cow pasture and a big chippin goat pasture. We need to get over here and get the soil information. There we go. I still got $1 million and some in the bank. Alright, we're gonna plop this tree devourer over here right now. Up. Alright. That's what I call a win for that. Alright. And we need to get this tractor disconnected from this. Because this does not have a PTO in the front. And it is a large tractor. Alright, how we looking on this other project that we got going on? Oh, we're getting there. Alright. Before I forget, let's clear the yield. Here we are. We want a lime spreader. That's what we want. Oh my goodness. We got spalagons. Saber-tooth tiger here. Interesting. That's a Wolverine sound. You gonna roar? No roar? Okay. Yeah. close, close enough. The sound effect? Huh? Got something to say? What about you? Little chubby? Yeah. A brown bear. Badger. An animal with an attitude. They should have said chimpanzee. An alligator. Yep. That's reality there. I don't think I need to place that when you get chickens. You gonna move? Huh? Alright, I think we looked at all the aminals. Oh, we missed one. Huh. Okay, enough of that. What was I gonna do? Mime spreader. Till I got tied up with the animals. Alright. We're going back into the Colossus pack. And we want this one, I think. Yeah, this one. Ah. Camouflage hat. Working speed. 25, 35, 50, 15. Let's go with the 25. Of course, we want the maximum capacity. We'll go over here to this corner and grab some lime. And we're full already. Okay. We're gonna spread some lime on this field first. Before I forget, before we get too far in here, take that off. Bring up that little damn. Pardon me. So, there we go. And the boss house over here is still plowing. See where he is on that. A little over halfway. Alright, being that we are running seasons, the only thing we can plant right now is canola or poplar. That's an awful big field for poplar. That's 123.99 acres. That's 118.63 acres. If I do poplar, we're gonna hold off on the poplar for right now. I think we'll plant this grass field into canola, and then we'll wait. Next month we'll plant barley in the other field. Alright, while those two tractors are doing their thing, you're about to see what I'm going to do next. We're going to go into others, I think. Yeah. Do 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 do. Rolling. Where's O? That's fairly wide. That looks good. Now we're going to spin this around. Now, we can get in that pasture. Wow. Imagine that. Means there's no gates. You can't remove the fence. We're going to get in one way or the other. And just to prove my point, in we go. We're in the pasture. One way of skinning a cat. I wonder how long it would take to mow this grass in here. Look out! Coming through. He magically disappeared. Now I bet you're wondering why I'm coming along this fence here. Because before the update, there was a break in the fence on this back side. Looks like it got fixed. Wasn't long there, I know for a fact. There it is. I knew there was a break. How did I miss that? And what caused this? FrankyYT, you need to take a look at your map. It is location 199, 1842, 44, 46. Yeah. Location 199, 136, 1836 to 199, 1848. You got those points. I think that was the only place that was, the fence was not complete. I don't know if it has something to do with the barrier there or what. Or something was on the map prior to that. Now I bet you're wondering why I wanted the ramp to get in here, like I said. Maybe to cut this grass, but there's also another reason. Now you saw how you can get in there. Where there's a will, there is a way. And you probably can do the same thing over here with the sheep pen. Means you can't delete the sheep pasture. Means you can't delete the fence off of that either. You can delete the trough and the feeding trough and the water trough on both animal pens, but the fence remains. Now, how's that work? No, that's not what I want to do. Alright. Here comes the magic. Animal pens. This pen here holds 2,000. That pen holds 43,000. That holds 1,000. That holds 500. But we went to one with the robot on it, and it holds 2,000 cattle. Let's get in here. Get the barn lined up. We don't want to take too much of this pasture up. We want to line it up just about here. Do you want to customize the fence? No. Do you want to plant meadow grass with the feeding robot? Yes. Not enough money. Huh. Oh, okay. Alright, let's walk over here. Nah, I bet you're wondering what this cow pen is for. Well, to let you in a little secret. You got dairy cattle in this pasture that you got. No place for milk. And you had a manure pit and a slurry pit out here with nothing to go anywhere from this pasture. There's nothing that would pertain to those two items when you first start off. What is that noise? Well, anyhow. We're going to put our manure thing here. We need to go up the silos. Put our manure heap in. We'll put it right here. Now, I bet you're wondering how I'm going to get gather up all these cows that's scattered all over this pasture. That's very simple. Alright, we got a manure heap. Let's take a look at our animal pens. Alright, we got that. Alright, we got manure and slurry at that barn. And pasture inside the pasture, yeah. Now, the capacity of pasture is 4,000. The capacity of this here is 2,000. That makes 6,000 cattle. Interesting. Now, what we want to do next, we want to and the pasture is there. You take a look. Meadow. The meadow is not there. Interesting. Oh well. Alright. What we want to do now, we want to go down into landscaping, go into paint mode, sand, plates, flagstone, gravel. That's what we want, gravel. We want to start right about here. Oop! Ain't gonna hurt. Alright. You get the idea. See what's happening here. Alright. That looks good. Alright. Wow. Time is already up again. Where were we at on this field? Okay, this field is almost done. And he's still spreading lime. What happened here? Where's the lime part? Aha! Well, we thought he was almost done spreading lime. I forgot to turn something back on. I didn't realize I got carried away doing other stuff and wasn't paying attention to his tank. Oh, my lord. We gotta find out where he left off at. Now, what is up with this? Oh my goodness. I'm not resetting the trailer. Not with that in there. Close it up. See where he left off at. Let's take a look down through here. Right here. Okay. Luckily, I caught that. And with that being said,